It's more like my thoughts and my opinion and quite a few things. So, okay. Gotta find him. So, I actually have 2 scrolls too. We're gonna open up the 2 scrolls after I make this 6-star. Right after I make this 6-star. Him. I really hope his second skill gets maxed. I ended up... His first skill, like everything went into the first skill. I was like so disappointed before. Oh, I thought I had a fail for a second. I thought I didn't have enough 4 stars. Oh, I'm about to say. Okay, where's the 5-star maxed one? So I can't awaken him yet. I'm gonna awaken him tomorrow, I guess. But I guess we got a 6-star brownie now. Ugh. Alright, so the first skill got maxed. That means the second skill is not getting maxed. Man. Wait a second. Am I wrong for a second? Hold on. Let's see what the hell's going on. I don't even remember. Looks like something got maxed, I think. Oh, so I maxed them out. Alright. Oh, we still got 2 brownies to spare, right? I guess I was wrong. Yeah, still got 2 brownies to spare. I don't know where I did my math on that. So, since I created some hype... Ah. Come on. Nothing. Whatever. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Alright, so, as you can see, I made a new 6-star. I made Draco today. And we just had the whole... I had the whole of Heroes finish about 15 or 16 hours ago. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're not talking about that. The whole point of this video is when to make your own decisions. Okay? So, you know, I have a lot of people, they ask me for advice. And, you know, I don't like giving bad advice. But the thing is, I give general advice. Why? Because I can't read people's minds. I guess that's a problem, right? I guess I got to fix that. But I can't read people's minds. I can't see what they have. I can't do certain things, you know. Like some people ask me to do player reviews or to do, can you look at my runes or can you do this and can you do that? And the answer is no, for a lot of reasons. All right. Number one, I don't have the time to do all that. You know, if I sat there and I looked at every single player that asked me to look at their runes or to look at their stuff every day, I wouldn't have time to make a video, you know? I wouldn't be able to, like, I could get stuck there for hours with people, you know? The whole thing with my videos is, I want people to learn. Of course I want people to learn. That's the whole point of my channel, you know, learn about Summoner's War. Another point I want to make in my channel is I want to make reviews. I want to do this, I want to do that, but we're not going to talk about that. But I want everybody to learn. I want everybody to make their own decisions, you know. I don't mind people asking me questions. I love it. It's like, you know, it makes me, not that it makes me feel special. It's just like I like helping people, you know. But there is a certain time where I'm going to be wrong. For whatever reason, there is. You know, I'll give one example. This is a good and a bad example, you know. One guy asked me what kind of runes should I put on Leica, and I meant to say violent, and I said despair instead by accident. I don't know where the despair came from, but anyway, that's besides the point. So here's the deal. Like, let's say you ask me, is this amount of speed good on a monster that they use in Arena? Let's say they made Theomars, and they made him with like 210 10 speed on violent runes or on swift runes or whatever, and because his first skill is based on speed. But they have Chloe, and Chloe is the fastest monster. Is a bit faster than them. So let's say you go into the arena. This is for argument's sake now. All right. Let's say you go into the arena. You have Theomar's leader, Chloe, and 2 other monsters. And Chloe buffs the shield. And you're fighting an enemy Chloe. And the enemy Chloe buffs the shield. And the other 3 monsters don't move. But Theomar's moves. And what are you going to do now? Okay, you're wasting a move on Theomar's. So, the whole point is that I could say, yeah, that's good speed, or I could say, no, it's not good speed, or I could say whatever I'm going to say. It doesn't matter. All right? I don't know what kind of runes you have on your Chloe. I don't know what kind of monsters you have. I don't know what your arena offense is. I don't know exactly what, like, everything. You know, there's so many things that you have to worry about where ultimately it's really your decision. It's not mine, you know? Like, what I'm trying to say is, I do certain things. Like I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I don't remember how it started exactly, but I asked him, he goes to me, I have Draco, he's great, you know? And I told him, how'd you build him? And he goes to me, I built him really, really fast. Now, I thought about it, and I said to myself, how am I going to build Draco really, really fast? Now, I thought about using Draco on my arena defense, though. No, I don't think he's good for me on arena defense. But my thought was, at the time, can I build him for arena defense? And I replied back to the guy, and I'm like, I don't think I could build him that fast, because I have Praha on my arena defense, and like, building a 200 speed Draco doesn't really help me. And why doesn't it help me? Because my Praha is at 180 speed. So, and I'm giving you guys examples from my experiences, from my monsters. You know, you guys got to think about it with your experience, with your monsters, with everything. You know, I'm just going to give you my examples. I'm going to give you my thoughts, what runs through my head. And I hope you can take that and put that with yourself. Okay, even though you may not have Praha, you might have another monster, but we're going to use Bella in the mix as well. Don't worry about it. So, but we're talking about my arena defense right now. So I said to him, I'm like, I don't know if I can make Draco really fast, because, like, over 200 speed, because I think he told me he has him over 200 speed, because I have Praha on my defense, and Praha has a buff strip, an AoE buff strip. So I was like, I think it would benefit me more if I make him slower than Praha, so that if I do the AoE buff strip, I can do an AoE weakened defense, you know, which it falls within the same category almost with Bella too. You want Bella a certain way so that Bella can buff strip, and then another monster can weaken defense, like Darien. Or Theomar's. Theomar's too can weaken defense. That wasn't a horrible example. Or Draco. And other people ask me another question that I have to. This is where you have to make your own decision. Where honestly, if I had to make it for you, I would say yes. But here's the question. I had some people tell me, Nick, I already have Chloe. Do I really need to farm Draco? I said, yeah. First of all, you should farm all HOH monsters, all Heroes monsters once. Why? Because they're needed. Not that they're needed, but let's say you have this monster already. It's free fodder. It's a free skill up. Another thing, if you already have Chloe, but you have Draco, what's wrong with having another monster with immunity? What if you're using Chloe and she dies in Guild Wars? You have Draco as a backup. Me, I fall into this problem sometimes where I'm using a monster, okay? I'm using a certain comp where I need immunity and I need weakened defense, and I'm trying to figure out where to get it from. Or like Delphoid dies, like she died in the first round that I'm fighting in. So I've got no immunity. I don't know how I'm going to fight this guild war now, this next guild war now. So I got Draco as a backup. And he has a weakened defense. So then I don't even have to take Bella. I could take a better healer like Chisun. You know? Or like I could use Draco with Rakan. And make Rakan leader Draco and like Chisun. Or it could even be Bella. Or it could be Praha. You know, I could make an offense. I could make a Guild Wars offense where it goes Rakan, Draco, and Praha. And pretty much I could fight a Chloe defense now, where Praha would go first, buff strip Chloe's shield and immunity. Then Draco goes. He weakens defense. And then Rakan goes. He does what he has to do. He buffs himself and uses his third skill. And then I can rotate it. And then on the next round, I could put immunity on my entire team. Or I could just use Praha to buff strip, and then I can have Draco increase the attack bar on everybody. I could use him on different teams. He can be used on quite a few different teams. He gives you a little more versatility. Another example of like setting up your teams, and like, I can't see your runes, so I don't know. So sometimes you have to give up certain things just to do certain things, just to be able to do certain things. The whole point of this video is so that you can make your own decisions, and hopefully you're capable of setting up your teams correctly, you know? Like, some people want to use Hua in the arena, and you know what? She's good. She's actually very good in the arena. She does like that double strike on her passive, where she can do a lot of damage. But I personally like Praha with Swift. This is my personal opinion, though. Other people want her on Violent, and you know what? I don't disagree with them. I just personally have her on Swift because I like her for TOA on Swift. I like her for TOA 100 on Swift. I want her to get her moves all the time. I use her with Vertihill a lot in Dragon's B10, in Magic B10. I use it in Hall of Heroes sometimes. I use it in quite a few places. So I want to be able to get those turns, you know, with Hua. And then, because Violent Runes, it's not a guaranteed thing. I mean, yeah, Violent Runes do proc a lot, but then sometimes they don't proc at all. So you want to be able to get those guaranteed moves. And I want the guaranteed move out of Hua. So I built her fast. And I really can't use her for like Guild Wars and because she's a little too fast as an attacker. So I really can't use her for Guild Wars and arena offense and stuff like that. Depending on the offense that I'm fighting, on the defense that I'm fighting. Let's see now. Other examples, like Bella. I built Bella a certain way. So the way I build my monsters, I build most of my attackers a certain way. And then I build my supporters that have certain skills that are useful another way. We're going to get into those examples. And then you have your monsters that are exceptions. They fall into they should be super fast exception. The monsters that I can think of off the top of my head, and there's probably more than that, but Bernard, Chloe, and Draco fall into those exceptions. Velahul falls into that exception as well. He can be super fast, over 200 speed. Okay? Now, why? Because of the buff increases, because Chloe's going to protect your team, Bernard, and the attack bar increases and the attack speed. Another monster that's a good example of that is Kabila. Now, what kind of support monsters should be behind them a little bit? Now, people are going to disagree with me 100%, but I like my Praha the way she is. I built her at 180 speed. This way, she's slower than most Chloe's, but fast enough to outspeed the rest of the team, or at least keep the speed going, and she can remove the buffs, and then we move on from there. She can strip the buffs off of strip the Chloe buff, you know, and we can move on from there. Another one that I did like that is Bella and Delphoy. Now, I made sure Bella is faster than my Delphoy. Why? Because if I'm fighting a Chloe or a Velahul and they put immunity, I want Bella to strip the immunity And I want Delphoid to reset their skills. And then I want Theomars to finish them off. If you noticed in my Guild Wars, this is the attack order that I do all the time with that team. That team actually had some thought put into it so that I can do my Guild Wars, you know. When Guild Wars first came out, I wasn't doing that great because I had to rework quite a few things, you know. Everything was a mess. And it took me a little while to sit there and fix everything slowly. Another monster that's going to probably fall within the support area for me is Draco for the weakened defense. I'm probably going to build Draco slower than Praha. I don't know if I'm going to use him with Bella. For that, I don't think it's going to really work because Bella is a single target and Draco is an AoE. Now, another monster I did this with was Lure, because Lure has an AoE weakened defense. Now, you guys can build Lure differently. Now, I'm talking about my monsters right now. I'm just giving you my examples of how I built my monsters. You can build Lure. People suggest for Lure to be over 200 speed. Or you use an attack bar buffer and you get Lure to go faster. Now, I'm going to show you right now so that I can mix Lure with different monsters. So that I can mix Lure with Praha especially, I built Lure at 178 speed and Praha's at 180. And I showed this on my video with Amakamir, whatever his name is, Amakamir. So she goes first, then he goes, and I can get 2 dots on each monster or 1 dot on each monster. I can decrease their attack bars and decrease their defenses. I'll give you a perfect example. YDCB 3-man my defense the other day. Somebody sent me a message telling me, hey, YDCB 3-man your defense. I suggest you make Darien faster than Theomars. Now, when I was looking at their runes, they were at exactly the same speed. That's the funny thing. He had 143 speed, and he had 143 speed at the time. So what I had to do, I had to replace this rune on Darien. I had this rune on him. I had to add the 2 speed on Darien. I had to give up the 21% hit points and add the 2 speed on Darien. Why? So that Darien can go before Theomars, which helped me make my defense better. This is why I actually think I've been asking YDCB to do that for me for a while now. It took him 6 months, but whatever, it's cool. You know, better late than never, buddy. But what do you call it? So, like, I could have put you know, this rune is slower. Whatever. It is what it is. I actually should switch out these 2 runes. This one has crit rate. Well, this one has defense plus 8%. I want to keep it on there. So, you see, like, she has 146 speed. I make sure that she's faster than Theomars so that I can reset Aperna and now reset enemy Theomarses and just one-shot them right after. My Chisoon is a bad example. I have no speed in Chisoon. I actually have to show Chisoon some love. He's a pretty decent example. As you can see, he has 181 speed. Because I treated him a little bit like Praha and Seek. Why? Because I want him to remove the buffs with his 3rd skill. To remove the buffs. Or I want him to buff the entire team. That's his job. That's it. I'm not expecting any damage out of him. Even though, surprisingly, he has a high attack. Somebody had told me that the other day, and I never looked at it. But surprisingly, he has a high attack. I'm really, really surprised at that. But I want him to be more of a support monster than I want him to be an attacker. All right? And his runes are nowhere near maxed. I actually neglect my Aquila quite a bit as well. Because I just use him for one task and that's it. Or like Seek. A lot of people say Rage Blade on Seek. But I want him to be faster than most of my attackers. And I've said this a lot of times, you know. So I build, like, Seek has multiple purposes. Seek is there to do a lot of damage. And he's there to buff the entire team. So, to be honest with you, this rune right here, the speed plus 10. I have a replacement rune now. This one has plus 5, which is fine. I'm thinking about either putting it on the samurai and then maybe on the water samurai, and then maybe finding a... See, this is a 5-star attack rune. I have a crit damage rune somewhere that might benefit him. But what's his crit rate? His crit rate is 56%. So I got some of my runes are lacking, and then I'm gonna end up losing 12 speed because I know my crit damage Swift rune does not have speed on it, the one that I do have. But anyway, so you see, I try to time all of my monsters together so that I can use them for multiple situations, so that I'm capable of being able to utilize all of my skills in different situations. Okay, sometimes, yeah, you know what, it's going to blow up in my face. But I would say 95% of the time, it works out. You see, like the speed on Rakan. Now, it's hard to get Rakan to a better speed, but honestly, I think this rune's going to come off, and I'm going to end up putting this rune on him. It's got plus 15 speed. Add 10 more speed, plus 33 is going to have 128 speed. That's not going to be so bad for Rakan. The thing is, he's going to lose some hit points. Whatever, I'm probably going to use him as a hit point leader anyway, when I do use him. So, like, I'm trying to get into a trend here, you know? Another monster, now, some people run this comp. Do I agree with it? Yeah, it works. It does and it doesn't work. But, like, Tyron. I can't use Tyron and Chloe on the same team. Why? Tyron's a little bit on the fast side. He's a support monster, but he's like a monster that's going to disable the enemy team. Now, my problem is I can't use Tyron and Praha either. Why? First of all, I can't really speed up my Praha without giving up certain stats. Where is she? Oh, there. She has 180, he has 190. I can't speed up my Praha without losing certain stats I don't want to lose. So they can't be used on the same team. Why? Because if the team has immunity and Tyron goes, Tyron can't use his freeze. So then Praha is going to go afterwards. I would have to speed up my Praha by around 11 speed just to be able to use them on the same team. Is it a good idea to do it? Yes. If I ever get the runes, yes, I'm going to do it. Right now I don't have the runes to do it. But I also need Tyron to be at 190 speed for my speed team. I end up having issues with Vanessa Chloe comps, where my Bernard will be the fastest monster that goes into the comp, but Chloe is going to go in between Tyron and Bernard. So now I don't have this issue because I increased Tyron's speed. I actually increased the speed by, I think, 12, maybe? I don't remember what the old rune was, because I got this rune right here, which ended up being like a godsend, this rune, for me. Okay? So, like, I also have certain comps that don't work together, but most of my teams are capable of working together, you know? So, when you ask certain questions, guys, make sure you fall within these things, because I don't know what the rest of your team is working. So I might give you bad advice where you have one monster faster than the other and it's not working out correctly. You gotta time everything correctly. And this is where you have to make your own decisions. You know, it's not something where I can't look. If you send me a screenshot of this rune, and then you send me a screenshot of this rune, and then that rune, and then you're sending me this rune, and that rune, and that rune, it's just like a jigsaw puzzle. I'm not going to be able to look at it. And either way, I don't really want to look at screenshots of runes. Send me screenshots of monsters. I got no problems. Next monster you should work on, I'll help you. Screenshots of runes, it gets a lot more difficult to sit there and look between substats and everything else. It's actually very difficult, you know, and extremely time-consuming. I can't do, like, player spotlights where I'm going to sit there and talk about a certain player for 45 minutes or half an hour or 10 minutes. I can't do that. Like, it's unfair to everybody else. Then I'm going to have a lot of other people ask me to do it. And either way, I won't be able to come out with videos, because I could be stuck there for God knows how long, So the whole point I'm trying to make is, after a certain time, you have to make your own decisions. You have to be able, and I'll help you if you give me the certain stats. If you tell me, which monster should be faster or which one this or that, but I can't help you with what runes to put on them and stuff. Like, not what runes, but exactly what rune. Oh, should I put this substat or that substat? Or like, I could give you the general idea. After that, you're kind of on your own, So, all right, guys. I really hope everybody got something out. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to show you my Shannon, all right? You see my Shannon? My Shannon, her speed is as if she's got a 6-star maxed speed rune on slot 2. She doesn't. I got it all from substats. These 4 runes right here have the substats. 13, plus 13, plus 14, that's 27, 30, 42. And I ended up keeping hit points on her. Why? Now, look, if Shannon is 5-star, yeah, go hit point, because she's too squishy as a 5-star. If she's 6-star, try and find some speed substats. Don't go speed, hit point, accuracy. Or try and find, like, the 2 ways I would ruin Shannon. You ruin her speed, hit point, with looking for accuracy substats. Or you ruin her hit point, accuracy, looking for speed substats. That's the best way I could possibly tell you how to ruin Shannon for, like, Giants B10, Trial of Ascension, a lot of things. Okay? If you want to use it for TOA hard, you might have to go defense in one slot. One of these 2 slots would have to go defense. Or one of these 2 slots would have to go defense. So these are decisions that you have to make. You have to be able to figure these things out on your own. Like, that's the thing that I'm trying to, like, drill into everybody's head. And, like, my Orochi, I'll be honest with you guys, I used to have speed in slot 2 with Orochi. It didn't work for me. My Bernard was too fast, and I had to slow Orochi down. Now, I ended up putting attack in slot 2. Now, why? Because he would end up using his 3rd skill before the giant went, and I would end up getting screwed, and I wouldn't have all the dots I wanted to put on the giant. So I ended up slowing down my Orochi so I could benefit more in my B10 Giants runs. Like, I'm just giving examples of my problems along the way, because I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect, guys. Nowhere near. I make mistakes all the time. Don't even think I have my fails. I make constant mistakes every day. One of my biggest fails, my most recent biggest fails that I had to fix, it took me from one rule to the next to fix it, because I didn't want to spend 600k mana. My Lucian. Okay? You see this set right here? It's a Fatal Blade set. My best Lucian has a Fatal Blade, but that's because this is a really nice Fatal Blade set. Alright? Which I actually want to test this Rage Blade set, because this is a nice Rage Blade set, on Lucian, and see which one he hits harder with. Which, this could be another fail that I have that I didn't even know about, because I'm not paying attention, I'm just rushing things. Alright? So I ended up putting this Fatal Blade set on this Lucian. Okay, and this was my Lucian's old set with this rune as an exception. Okay, and this Lucian was hitting as hard as this Lucian, but this Lucian has maxed out skills, and this Lucian doesn't have maxed out skills. Okay, especially his amp magic. So they were both amping for 7,500. Now, and I'm like, whoa, how is this Lucian using amp magic for 7,500 a card? So I switched this Lucian's runes, the Fatal Blade set, to this Lucian, and now he's doing somewhere around from 85 to 8,800. Depending on, I don't know, sometimes one amp will hit 8,800, the other one will hit 8,500. Which improved my speed team by a lot. So I'm just telling you, and now I realize it with this Sig over here. This Sig, I'm wondering where all this attack came from. But Sig also has really high attack plus 10%, attack plus 17%. Alright. So, does he have crit damage anywhere else? He's got, no, he doesn't. So this Sig ended up with a decent crit damage and a really nice attack. So I might have to change things around again. You know? I never realized that this set was actually that good. But then again, I have Sig on my Dragons B10 team. I would probably change this set, put it on this Lucian, put this Lucian set on my Sig, see how Sig works in Dragons B10 before I do anything else. I don't even want to test it on the Lucians. And then we'll work it from there on. Why? Because I want to make sure my Dragons B10 team is going to be successful, which with a 68% crit rate, and then this one has what? This one has 68% as well. So it's not that bad. But you see the attack is so much more lower. But then again, Lucian's base attack, 1320 compared to 1700. That's a big difference, actually. So you see, while I'm telling you I'm not perfect and everything, I just realized I might have a fail, and I might have to redo some ruins. So as I'm telling you, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'm just giving you advice from my experiences. But, alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope everybody got something out of this. I'll talk to everybody later.